So basically he jagged edged her ass. We ain't getting no younger, we might as well do that. What? Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marian. In today's video, I'm doing a get ready with me chit chat. I have a couple of errands that I need to run and then do last minute studying for my exam that's tomorrow. Before I get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. I want to talk about the Risa Tisa mess, the 50-part debacle series that's on her TikTok. And at first I wasn't gonna watch it. At first I was like, that's too much drama. That's a lot going on. And then one day I was waiting to pick up my daughter from work and I was like, you know what? You got time. Why not watch it? So I put the speed, because she does talk slow, on 1.5. And so I was able to kind of finish it pretty fast. If you watch it on the regular speed, then you're gonna easily want to turn off from it because she talks very, very, very slow. But she's very articulate, and I get that she wants to make sure that she's not skipping anything and that she's being very detailed, and she very much so was being very detailed. So if you didn't know, the series is called Who the F Did I Marry? Honestly, it would go perfect for a Lifetime movie or even a movie on TV One or something, since she is a black lady. TV One, call her up. I have to do my brows real fast because I'm not going to be able to talk and give my thoughts while struggling to do my brows. So 1 second. Okay, brows are done. So let's get into, chit chat. So basically it's a 50-part series, which I'm pretty sure everybody named Mama has watched, done think pieces, created their own little YouTube videos and TikTok videos to analyze, to try to find this man, figure out who the ex-wives are. And then from my understanding, I think one of the ex-wives' son appeared, and then they found the other ex-wife. And so pretty much she met a guy through Facebook dating, and he was also on Hinged. So many dating apps I'm so not privy to, but that's how she met him. And it was right before the pandemic, before Georgia, because they're in Georgia, before Georgia shut down. He had 2 different profiles and she matched to both. So she said they were conversing, hitting it off as if everything was fine. And I think they went on their first date after a couple of days of talking and whatnot. But you'll have to look at the first parts to figure out how they met. And so he told her that he was a regional manager for a condiment company and that he moved to Georgia from California. He was divorced. He didn't have any kids, but he still had a relationship with his ex's kids. They were like 17 and 20, so they wasn't little babies or anything. He didn't have to pay any spousal support or anything like that. So he also told her that he used to play arena football, and he pretty much divulged a lot of information to her early on that kind of made her comfortable. But in my opinion, I felt like all of the financial things that he mentioned kind of drew her in. Like him saying the type of position he had as a regional manager. Yeah, this is too dark, but we gonna make it work. And that he used to play arena football and everything. So he told her that he was looking for a house and that he was staying in a temporary like loft situation or something like that. And then COVID hit. Now, here's the first mess up for me in regards to her. This is how she messed up. I'm gonna put it like that. I feel like she let her need a desperation for a relationship fuel him. Basically, he fed off of her desperation of not wanting to be alone. Now, here's where I need a clarification. If he had his own place, even if it was temporary, like, did he just break the lease? Okay, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. So, COVID hits. State of Georgia shuts down. They decided they was trying to figure out where were they going to quarantine? His place or her place? Of course, she was in a townhome, 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhome, and he was in like a little bitty studio. And like she said, his place was smaller than hers. So they decided to quarantine at her place. Now, they have only been knowing each other for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I don't care about the pandemic. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And she said multiple times she did not want to quarantine alone. I still feel like he could have kept his place and stayed at his place and y'all like rotate. He did not have to move in. So I was a little bit trying to figure out, okay, what happened to the loft, the studio apartment he was living in? Like, was that a lie? Like, was that somebody else's place and that he just pretended it to be? You know, he told her he had, how many brothers? I think 4 brothers and 2 sisters. Don't have any sisters. He's a twin, come to find out. And he used to pretend like he was talking to a brother on the phone every morning. So, come to find out, that particular brother and him don't even get along. They hadn't spoken since the father passed away. I think they got into it at the father's funeral. So, it was just a lot of things going on. So, they move in. Well, he moved in with her. And he brings up wanting to buy a house. So, it's like she's not asking him to do things. He's voluntarily wanting to do these things. And they go look at house after house after house after house. This man had a letter from Chase saying that he was approved for $700,000 loan because of the money that he had from arena football, and that he had an offshore account, and that he had a checking and a savings with Chase and 1 account with US Bank. So she kept saying that something wasn't adding up, but she kept putting it off. Boom. This is March. You're going into April. You go into May. Nothing. So he tells her that they put an offer on a house. Instead of going through the original realtor, he said he's going through his friend and that the house is under contract. And so she goes and look and see that the house is under contract on the website. But technically someone else bought the house. And then when she confronted him, she knew he was going to lie. She said that she stayed because she was pregnant and she didn't want to be an embarrassment to her family. But you ended up being an embarrassment to your family. You ended up marrying this man after multiple occurrences where he either lied to you or you just didn't feel 100% about something. Oh man. When it came, then he said he got a promotion. He went from being regional manager to being VP of production or something like that. And that he was getting a company car and had them people at the dealership doing printouts and saying he was going to wire the money, and had her looking at BMWs and test driving different vehicles, and just put on this big facade. And not once did she say, enough is enough. Like, sir, why are you constantly lying? Like, it was just, she just kept saying something wasn't right. I just wasn't, but she also was talking herself out of believing that something was wrong because she didn't want to feel jaded from past relationships. And I can understand that, because you're like, okay, this could be too good to be true, but at the same time, I don't want to like sabotage myself. And that is like a real battle that some women go through, especially if they've had like bad experiences previously, and then they get with someone that is showing them different, and you're kind of questioning, what is this really real? Is this man really a good man, or is he going to do me like the others? That is like something that women battle with all the time. I even wrote like little stuff down because I was like, girl, what? It was just like, when you listen to her story and when she's telling you what's transpiring, you're like, how did you not realize that was a red flag? That this man was BSing, lying. And I know sometimes as women, we don't want to come off as like controlling. So we want to let the man handle business or something like that. But it should have came a point in time where she should have been more involved in like the process. But then again, I can see why she wasn't, because it wasn't her money. The house wasn't in her name. And I feel like if the second realtor or the final realtor, Amber, wouldn't have told her like to do her research and was basically like, what's going on, she still would have been with him and living in this big fat lie. You know what I'm saying? But what also killed me was she worked for the Georgia State Patrol. When she was doing background checks, you're looking for civil stuff, but I'm just trying to figure out, why did she wait to do a criminal background check until after speaking with the brother? Speaking with the brother well after you filed for divorce. So I was just like, you work for the police. Granted, you don't want to use their system, but if I work for the police, I would think that I would do a criminal background check as well as like civil to see if he's married, if he's divorced, this and that. When you realize that the social security number on the marriage license wasn't right, in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, were they really married legally? Because if the social security number wasn't the correct one on the marriage license, that would make that null and void, because she didn't get the correct social security number until she got a new job and needed his information for them to do a background check on. So let's just look at everything. Met through Facebook dating. Went on a date maybe a couple of days later. Decided to quarantine together after only knowing each other for 2.5 weeks. He moved in with her. He told her he was a regional manager. He moved to Georgia from California, and that he was divorced, and that he still was close to the ex-step kids, that he had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. He also told her he worked for a condiment company, and then he got a promotion from regional manager to VP of production while living together. He tells her, I want to buy a house. Well, he told her from the jump that where he was living was temporary because his goal was to buy a house. He had a house when he lived in California. Showed her a picture of that house, California. So he has her looking at houses. They look at houses. She finds a house that she really likes. He says he has a pre-approval, shows her a letter from Chase, $700K approval, because again, he used to play in arena football, so he has money put to the side in an offshore account. He has a savings account with Chase, bank account with Chase, and a checking account with US Bank. Okay? So, they're looking at houses. He says he puts an offer in. The realtor actually calls her and asks her what's going on because they needed proof of funds. That's where you see everybody making jokes about proof of funds. And so she was like, well, I thought he put an offer in. And the realtor was like, that's news to me. He tells her, no, I went with my friend, a different realtor, to give the business to that person. She looked up the house, see that the house did show us under contract. So she's under the assumption that they're the ones purchasing the house. So as time passes, she goes and checks and see that the house is off the market. Contact the seller's realtor. She tells her, no, it was an older white couple. So you knew he lied about that. Here was your opportunity to put him out, tell him he needed to find somewhere else to live. I think she had found out she was pregnant by then. So she was, I guess she felt like, I need to stick this out because I'm pregnant. Well, she ended up having a miscarriage. He could not leave work to get to her. He offered to have his sister take her. She said, no, I don't know her, and vice versa. I wonder what would have happened if she would have been like, okay, your sister can take me. He probably would have lied and said, oh, she had a flat or something like that. I can see that coming up as being like a lie. And so when he said he got the promotion and they were going to look for him a company vehicle, they test drove BMWs and all kind of stuff. So he had her looking for a vehicle because he did not want her driving. I think she had a Nissan Rogue or Murano or something like that. And he wanted her to be in something more safe because of the pregnancy. So, you can get all of this by watching the series, but it was just so methodical on how he was doing things because, like I was telling my daughter, he was voluntarily lying. She wasn't asking him for these things. According to her, I know she said that she wanted to move to a specific county because that's where she wanted to raise her kid. And that's anybody's choice. If you want to move to a better neighborhood or whatnot, that's on you. But as she kept going on and on and on, she said she took audio diaries. She should have been playing them back like in real time because a woman's intuition, I want to say 75 to 85% is typically, on point. When you know something isn't right, 9 times out of 10, it isn't. And I just feel like she ignored a lot of the red flags because she simply just did not want to be alone. And I feel like a lot of women fall into that trap just for the sake of saying, I have a man. She got married because she wanted to be a wife. She wanted to get married. I really feel like she didn't care about the lies. I think she just was constantly making up reasons to stay because she just didn't want to be alone. So let me get to my paper. So I said, number 1, she quarantined 2 weeks after meeting the guy. Number 1, no. I have experienced moving too fast with someone, and I'm pretty sure some have, but 2 weeks? 2 weeks? 2 weeks is super duper fast, especially for that person to be moving into your home. Because you don't know if he's a psychopath or what. Number 2, I said he lied about putting an offer on a home, but she knew he lied and used being pregnant as an excuse to keep the relationship going. And a lot of people use being pregnant as a reason to stay in horrible relationships. And that is the last thing you should do. That should actually be the reason for you to get out of a horrible relationship. So I said that, oh, he proposed to her. Well, he really didn't propose to her. He took her to the mall and said, pick out which ring you like. She did that. And then months later, they sit down at the table. He puts the ring down like, here. She's like, what's that? This is this for you. I guess we're going to get married now. I guess you're my wife now. What? So basically, he jagged edged her ass. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do that. What? So you can't get on one knee and actually propose to me and ask me to be your wife? And she put the ring on and she accepted it and kept going. Why? I can only think that she just did not want to be alone. She wanted to be able to say, I am someone's wife. Even if that someone was a pathological liar. Even if that was someone you did not know. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the phone situation. Because how do you see someone pick up their phone and be having a conversation on their phone? Because even if I have my phone and I'm talking on it, my cheek will hit it and it'll light up. And if I'm not talking to someone, my home screen, my lock screen will show. But if I'm talking to someone, it'll be black, and then that's just the way my phone is. But she said she was going about her day. You know, she'll be in the bathroom or in the bedroom, stuff like that. I'm like, how as a human being, a sane human being, every day have a conversation for 20 to 30 minutes with your imaginary brother? I'm really not gonna, go into, because I think I've talked a lot about like what happened. And I really believe that for you to really grasp the insanity is to watch all 50 parts of it. I feel like if you watched it, then you would have the same questions as me, because I had a lot of questions. Number one, about his place. What happened to it? Did he break his lease to move in with her? Whatnot? Okay. Number two, the aunt that he would call on the phone or whatnot. When she finally put him out, she told him to come home to Philly. But the aunt lives in Georgia. So that confused me too. So why is she telling him, I'll send you some money for you to come home? Or did she tell him, I will send you some money so you can go back home? I was a little bit confused on that. I was also confused on why he lost so much weight. She said that he hurt his knee and that he was bedridden and he wasn't eating. But I'm just confused on what was the underlying medical condition that made him drop. She said he was a 3X when they met. And when she finally saw him in December of 2021, when he was trying to come get his stuff, she said he was like a extra large. But he was gradually losing weight. But even that confused me, because to go from a 3X to a 2X to a 1X to extra large that fast, my mind was like, she leaving. Even though she don't need to expose his medical condition, I, for myself, since I was already nosy by listening to the series, I was just wondering, like, why did he lose so much weight so fast? I also feel like maybe if the pandemic wouldn't have never happened, that she would have been a little bit more cautious on moving so fast. And the pandemic, honestly, in my opinion, feels like that was an advantage for him. That was right up his alley to be able to find a place to lay his head. When she put him out, I was thinking, like, really? In Georgia, you can just put a person out without like going through the eviction process and stuff like that? Because in Texas, if that person has been living there and has been getting mail, even though that person isn't on the lease, you have to go through the eviction process, 30 days, and getting that person evicted out. But like she said, she was told that he is technically allowed back into the marital home, whatever. But I just found it fascinating how even after she found out all of the lies by talking to the family, talking to the ex-wife, talking to two of the guys that he said was his brother, she still was like questioning whether or not everything was a lie. I guess she was just so dumbfounded that this person could put on such a lie. Honestly, I wouldn't even been trying to search for more answers. This dude is crazy. I want him out of my life. That's all that matters. All in all, I just wish her the best and that she's not really jaded. What's crazy is he started making videos about their experience. I saw one where he said that he left her because he caught her cheating with someone named Bradley. But that's the same thing he told her about the other ex-wife. And then the other one, they had restraining orders on each other because she slapped him for lying. The Latoya chick. So they were married in Rhode Island. So when she did her background check, realized he never lived in California. He's only lived on the East Coast and stuff like that. It was just a lot. It was a lot, okay? When I think of that situation, that 50-part series, basically one word comes to mind: desperation. That could be a little too much, but desperation comes into play with not wanting to be alone. And when you have any sense of desperation, narcissists feed off of that. Womanizers feed off of that. Now, she did have an update saying that the brother said that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia as a kid, and they tried to get him help. So that could play a major part in it because, of course, this whole 50-part series screams mental illness, a mental disorder, okay? What's so crazy is it got worse and worse and worse as she kept going. But I also feel like love can be blind, and the thought of loving someone and being in love can make you blind to things that in any regular situation you'll be like, no, that ain't right, that don't make no sense. But when you have feelings for someone and you want something to work so bad that all sanity goes out of the window. Also, I feel like him wanting to do things financially made her kind of like step back and accept certain things, because she never said that he was leeching off of her. She said he paid the bills, he paid the household bills, and she was responsible for paying like her car insurance, her credit card bills, stuff like that. But he did pay the bill. She said that her rent was less than $1,000. I was like, damn, less than $1,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhome? That's a steal, because you're not getting that here in Houston, not even back in 2020. But he was working and he was paying bills. So I feel like that was another reason why she didn't question what was going on, because he was providing in that aspect. But once he got to saying, oh, buy you this house, I'm approved for this, I'm moving to this house, I'm gonna get you a BMW. Not, normal folks, when you're thinking of getting a car for someone that you haven't been, honestly, normal folks not gonna even buy a person a car that they haven't even been with, let alone married to, okay? Some people do, but most folks isn't gonna do that. So I want to know your thoughts on this series. Leave a comment down below. Let's chit chat. Let's talk about this, because I can go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm not. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have another topic for me to talk about, please leave it down below as well. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, thank you for watching.